Friends, I love capitalism, particularly shareholder capitalism, because at no other time in human history has it been so easy to speedrun bankruptcy. You see, modern technology has allowed the financial services industry to finally democratize access to highly speculative financial instruments, giving the unwashed masses innovative new ways to destroy their lives. Exhibit A? Literally me right now. In today's video, I'll be demonstrating the fact that having a master's degree in accounting and a CPA does not exempt you from the siren call of extreme greed and degenerate risk-taking. The topic of today's video is leveraged ETFs. First introduced in 2006, these highly speculative financial instruments have exploded in popularity as of late, and, as a man of culture, I have been known to dabble. Anyway, this video will cause you to lose brain cells, so if you'd rather hold on to those, now's your last chance to click away. Just kidding, it's too late. Disclaimer time. None of what I'm about to share with you is a good idea, and is definitively not financial advice. Unless, of course, you want to experience the rush of receiving a margin call. Or maybe you're just curious about how our bankruptcy laws work. Honestly, it's none of my business. I'm just trying to do my job here. Anyway, I've been having more bad thoughts lately. As the market continues to surge, I find myself looking for ways to aggressively grow my meager capital. To quell the voices, I scroll through Wall Street bets for hours, marveling at other people's losses. There but by the grace of God goes somebody else, I think to myself. But what if it didn't have to be this way? I mean, it'll definitely end up that way, but what if it didn't? And so like a moth to the flame, I find myself unable to reach escape velocity from the irresistible pull of financial degeneracy. And then a thought occurs. What about leveraged ETFs? Unlike options, at least those don't expire worthless. Because when an out-of-the-money call goes against you, you often don't even have a bag left to hold. But with leveraged ETFs, you'll at least have those devalued shares. And while that may not be much of a bag, it is at least something. So in order to expedite the tendies that the universe owes me,
manifestation! Now I'm gonna get so much money, I don't need a job.
I've come up with a plan. It's actually quite simple. What I'm gonna do is, and I want you to take a deep breath before you hear this, build a watch list of best-in-class mega-cap companies that are well known for their excellent products, like Microsoft's beloved Copilot or Meta's Techno-Weenie glasses, which for a mere $400 can increase your risk of getting violently assaulted on the street by over 9,000%. Because of such innovations, we can say with a high degree of certainty that these companies' lines will go up forever. Now that I have this list, it's time to find these companies' corresponding 2x leveraged ETFs. And finally, it's just a matter of buying the dip. Once I see a nice little dippy poo, I'll swoop in, buy up 100 shares of one of these leveraged stock ETFs, then immediately sell a near-the-money 30 days to expiration covered call against it. Because the absurdly high option premium I can collect by selling calls against these shares will help reduce my break-even on the shares. So if, and this is a big if, I play this right, I've got a massive upside potential, and at worst, I can probably exit this position within a few weeks for a break-even, or possibly a small loss. You see, 2x leveraged ETFs are highly volatile, and therefore have expensive options. So by selling covered calls against them, I'm taking money from the knuckle-dragging Wall Street bets apes who are dumb enough to pay me the enormous premium that I'm asking for, in order to take my 100 shares of a leveraged financial instrument, i.e. a potential ticking time bomb, off my hands. Because holding leveraged ETFs is like a game of hot potato. It's all fun and games until you get that first margin balance warning.
I'm kind of retarded.
But if you're enough of a Chad to hodl through a potentially 30 or 40% dip, without rolling your short call down too low, you may be, just maybe, able to survive long enough for the eventual upward price swing. But is the option buyer really the greater fool in this scenario? Or is it me, the one who picked up the hot potato to begin with, and who is now trying to offload it in the midst of an overheated market, during earnings season, no less? What I can tell you is that we'll soon find out, because I've already put this insane strategy into practice. On October 29th, I bought 100 shares of TEMT, the 2x leveraged Tempest AI ETF, for $35.45 a share. I then proceeded to sell a post-earnings 20 days to expiration $40 call option against the shares, collecting a tidy $440 in option premium in the process. which means my new break-even on the stock is $31.05 a share. Very nice. You may recall Tempest AI is a stock I've done a video on in the past, so I actually do like the underlying company, and it does appear to be at a nice resistance level as of November 3rd, so by YOLOing into TEMT, its 2x leveraged counterpart, I am putting my money where my mouth is, so to speak. How many other YouTubers do you know who would actually do that? Probably none, because they know better. What even am I doing with my life? Quick update, guys. There have been a few developments while I was working on this video. TEMT actually shot down post-earnings, even though Tempest AI beat earnings, because, say it with me now, nothing matters. Anyway, to avoid imminent disaster, I dutifully deposited 300 more America Fun Bucks into my Robinhood account. But I'm letting it ride, ladies and gentlemen. Now I know how Michael Burry must have felt when everyone around him was telling him he was a fucking idiot. But unfortunately, my $300 wasn't enough, because Tempest kept dropping, and TEMT, as it was built to do, dropped about twice as much as its underlying. This is the sort of eventuality you have to be prepared for when playing with leveraged ETFs. As the ETF continued to fall, Robinhood continued to gently encourage me to deposit more money. I had to triage the situation, and fast. To generate some additional cash, I rolled my $40 call down pretty aggressively, locking in my roughly 75% gain on the short position, while generating enough cash to make the annoying margin call warning go away. This, combined with depositing more money over the next couple of days, ensured that my portfolio balance remained above $2,000, thereby staving off a margin call. At least for now. The market was trying to shake my faith in Tempest, but I wasn't having it. So I decided to stop being poor and adopted an abundance mindset. Functionally, this meant that I deposited even more money into my Robinhood account and defiantly rolled that short call back up to $40, albeit this time with an expiration of March 20th, 2026. That gives my thesis another 113 days to play out. The way it shakes out, this means I've collected $870 in net call option premium so far on my initial $3,550 investment, essentially putting my basis in the shares at $2,675. The way I see it, this can't possibly go tits up again. It's already pretty damn low. The best case scenario here, by the way, means that my shares get called away at $40 on top of the $870 in option premium I've collected, meaning I also get to recognize $455 in capital gains in the future. Overall, that's a 37.4% ROI within 133 days. Not bad. The way I see it, the worst case scenario here is that the stock dips even more, in which case I do have some flexibility to continue rolling down that $40 short call and continue chipping away even more at that $2,675 cost basis. The lowest TEMT has been since June is about $15 a share. Honestly, I don't think that happens. And if it does, well, there's always door number 3. So while TEMT didn't turn out super great for me, I have yet to give up on this position, and I will keep you all posted. And if you want to find out how this adventure into financial degeneracy plays out, don't forget to smash that like button, ladies and gentlemen, and subscribe. Now you might be getting ready to laugh at me, and rightly so, but let me tell you of a recent example of when this strategy actually worked out for me. Back in June, I bought 100 shares of TSLL, the 2x leveraged ETF that tracks Tesla. I bought these for $10 a share and immediately sold a $12 call option, collecting $200 in option premium up front. If you watch this channel, you know how I feel about Tesla. But honestly, its price has never been, and probably never will be, based on reality. And when it comes to degenerate risk-taking, I am instrument agnostic. Within a month, Tesla's price shot up and my $12 short call was in the money. I was then able to close that $12 December 2025 short call for a slight loss while selling my TSLL for the prevailing market rate, netting about $140 in total profit on that initial $1,000 position. Very nice. So as you can see, this can either go very right or very wrong. But when you're playing with fire, you have to be prepared for the latter outcome. And on that note, if you're getting voyeuristic pleasure from watching me lose money on YouTube,
you disgust me.
Then consider supporting Cult of the Almighty Dollar on Patreon or by becoming a member on YouTube. There are free and paid tiers available, and by subscribing to my Patreon, you'll be doing your part to ensure that I continue living indoors for the foreseeable future.
Help me, I'm poor.
You can check out the links in the description for more ways to give me your money. Someone asked me on YouTube, why not just do this with Leaps instead of buying leveraged ETFs? And to that I say I honestly don't know which strategy is more degenerate, but here are my thoughts on the two. Both 2x leverage ETFs and call options are highly volatile, and both allow me to sell covered calls. But here are the main differences. Leveraged ETFs are a bit easier to understand because they basically trade just like stocks. Call options are more flexible because I can choose whichever strike price I want for the long position. And they are cheaper than leveraged ETFs and probably give you better leverage if just straight up leverage was your goal. Unlike leveraged ETFs, with call options you can roll your long position up and down as the stock price moves, along with your short position. However, this is a far more hands-on approach, and while it can be more rewarding, I've rarely had a poor man's covered call setup that didn't cause me to lose sleep. Maybe it's a personal preference, but I've just never been great at these. It's like a call debit spread with extra steps, and I'm kinda bad at those too. Anyway, unlike selling poor man's covered calls, selling calls against 100 shares of a leveraged ETF means I don't have to worry about theta decay. No, instead I get to worry about compounding daily losses. Because leveraged ETFs reset daily, if the underlying stock dips, it basically means that you're gonna end up needing a bigger and bigger recovery to get back to even. This is called volatility drag, and it's another reason you should only use these financial instruments on super high conviction stocks, or if you need loss porn for your YouTube channel. But on the plus side, shares of a leveraged ETF don't expire worthless the way Leaps do, which means that the opportunity for the shares to eventually bounce back remains, particularly when the underlying assets are for solid companies. Companies that Wall Street likes. And in case you forgot how this all works, these are the ones Wall Street likes. So Tempest was admittedly a bit of a risky play, and I knew that going in. But I do still have one thing going for me. The fact that this is a Nancy Pelosi pick, and that I expect it to bounce back with a vengeance by December. Here's hoping I'm correct on that. Otherwise, yeah. It seems like new leveraged stock ETFs are coming out every day lately. We've come a long way since the first leveraged index ETFs were introduced back in 2006. Today, not only are there at least 2 of these things for each Mag 7 stock, but lots of popular stocks now have a corresponding leveraged ETF. And that includes meme stocks. GameStop investors, here you go. Go crazy. This outcome makes a lot of sense in the context of the financial services industry. After all, anything to charge a 1% management fee, am I right? There's even one for MicroStrategy, guys. I'm not even gonna say anything. I can't help but feel like the sheer number of 2x and even 3x leveraged ETFs out there is indicative of some moral failing within our society. It's speculation on steroids. But you know what? I'm not here to moralize. I just did what any degenerate gambler would do and put every one of these that I could find on a watch list where they can slowly penetrate my subconscious until I'm inevitably overtaken by my dark urges. Given that statistically speaking, the overwhelming majority of active traders will underperform the SPY, I submit to you, dear cultist, that none of this is worth the effort. Whether it's stock picking or YOLOing into risky derivatives, in the end, the result is the same. So why do we do it? After thinking about this for a while, I keep coming back to the same conclusion. Sheer love of the game. That being said, let this be your reminder to go outside and touch grass. But before you do that, don't forget to subscribe to Cult of the Almighty Dollar for more investor psychoanalysis and existential dread. I want to thank my Patreon and YouTube members, as well as the OGs who have been following the channel since the beginning. I see you, and I truly appreciate you being here. And finally, thank you for watching. Bye for now.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Anyway, one thing is really...
Is that how you eat Spam, by the way? Just right out of the
Well, you usually
thing?
have a... Let me give you some Spam juice. It's always underrated.
See the face of
Right, it's great